Hi guys, welcome back to Skyline Stroll. Today we're going to be talking about accountability and all the awesome shit it can do for you and the power of taking a little bit of self-responsibility for things going on in your life. So without further ado, let's have a great walk together. Alright guys, taking accountability is going to be really hard at first. The longer it took you to actually decide to do it, the more you're going to have to take accountability for. And the more pain you're going to have to endure as a result, because if we're not someone who takes accountability typically, well then we're going to find that there's a lot of situations in hindsight we maybe messed up, and the only person actually at fault for it is us. Like, other people might take part in helping ruining our lives, sure, but the only part of it you can actually control is yourself. So in order to actually take accountability, you really got to turn inward. And when you're thinking back on situations where you didn't care how it played out, don't think about what other people did that made your life harder. Think about what you did that made your life harder, because chances are you did do something. And the cool thing is, once you power through this pain, this cringe feeling, this feeling of shame, perhaps, right? Then what happens is you gain the power to change. You can say, okay, well, yeah, I don't like this about myself. Let's change it. And that's the cool part. Once you do this, a lot of doors will open up in your life. And some of them will be good, some of them will be bad. You're going to have to learn how to judge that yourself. And also, it's going to take a minute to actually work through how you feel about things, your new way of thinking, some of those old thoughts you used to use to help justify your actions are going to creep back up. They're going to come back and say, oh, well, this and that. And you have to catch them and be all like, no, I thought this through. This is not how that works. And sorry. You're going to find this simply doesn't line up well with the old you. You know, the old you's got this real specific image of you in your head that you live by, this identity. And once you take accountability, chances are you're going to find holes in this identity. It's your job to patch that up. And in order to do that, there's a couple techniques you can actually use. One of which is the stoic inner and outer circle. Things you can and can't control. Get a big old sheet of paper and draw two circles, one within another, and leave lots of space between them. In the innermost circle, you'll write things that you can actually control and change. And in the outermost circle, you're going to write things that are not in your control that you cannot change. And this will really help you perspectivize what you can actually have an impact on in your life and where your accountability should be aimed, what you should be looking for, what you should be taking accountability for. That's super important. So the Stoic Circle, it's an incredible exercise. I'm not even saying you have to get into Stoicism. I'm saying this specific exercise will help you find some peace of mind and make some decisions quicker. And another thing I mentioned is you're going to find things you do not like about yourself, which is all right. You have to remind yourself it's okay to not like something about yourself. And to counterbalance this a little, I'm going to suggest once a day, ask yourself at least 2 times, what do I admire about myself? And don't give yourself the same answer you had in the past. Come up with something new. Dig deep. You're going to learn to like yourself more if you really make yourself think about what you like. So do some of that. Those 2 exercises can be great. Taking accountability is so rough at first, guys. It really is. We all have a couple little traits that we maybe subconsciously aren't aware of, or maybe we are aware of and don't want to accept. And we can always work If you're not able to take accountability, you won't be able to obtain a growth mindset, because part of a growth mindset is being focused on improving. In everything you do, you don't ask, did I win or lose? You ask, what can I take away from this? What did I learn from this? And what you learn is entirely up to you, actually. There is so much information to be gained in both victory and defeat, and in new experiences and in consistency. Pay attention to every day. Every single day there's something you can take away and be better for it. You can even apply this in like video games. If you're like a competitive gamer, it's way better to ask, what did I do that game, not what did my team do, right? You can't control what your team did. You can control what you did, though. And hey, if you're playing better and if you're focused on improving, your win rate would go up. So why would it be any different in real life? Why is it that people think they're like, oh, all these external forces keep me at bay, keep me locked up? They kind of do, and they kind of don't. In many ways, we kind of choose to let them lock us up. We sit there and we're like, I don't think I'm ready to make that move. That doesn't seem safe. Challenge yourself. Each day should contain something new. It doesn't even have to be big. It has to be new. Go to a restaurant you haven't before. Go to a park. Try a hobby, a new hobby. Talk with somebody you normally wouldn't. You'd be surprised just what making different decisions each day can actually lead to. And once you take accountability and own your own stink, then you will be able to actually do some of that. All these doors will open up. It's crazy. I spent the last month focused on my own accountability. How did I get myself into this mess? How do I get myself out of this mess? How did I get myself into other messes in the past? How did I get myself out of those messes? And it all helped me perspectivize. I've had I guess you could call it a rough and tumble life, but I've learned so much from it, I almost can't complain. And it's okay to have regrets. It's okay to try new things. It's okay to fail, because failure is the first step to success. It's leveling up. In real life, it's developing experience. It's getting better. Once you have the desire to get better, it's only a matter of time before accountability comes to find you. So, I recommend running to it first, because it will hurt a little less if you do. And it's so liberating. At first, you're uncomfortable. You're like, oh, I'm the master of my own life. That's horrifying. And then you get into a routine of actually doing it. It's like, well, if I don't get up and run to the post office today, my items don't sell. That's only my fault. But since I remind myself of that every day, I haven't missed a postal day yet. And now I'm making money that I wasn't before. That's what accountability can do for you. In the past, I would have just been like, oh, there's all these hurdles. I would need a printer, and I would need envelopes, and I don't know how to ship. I just shouldn't do it. I'm not good with tech. And at the end of the day, you can reinforce these things you believe about yourself, or you can look at them and be like, well, what's the first step to being good at tech? What's the first step to learning to ship? I can go buy some envelopes. And it is just a matter of more and more accountability in each scenario will have you doing these actions. And in no time, you'll find that you're just casually your own master. Your days are in your hands. You decide what happens with them. And sure, we don't get all our time. That ain't how the world works. You probably are going to a 9 to 5 right now. You're like, what do you mean I'm the master of my day? I have a 12-hour day, you idiot. Okay, I'm sorry about your 12-hour day. Those can be tough. But also, that's a choice you're making too. And if it's the choice you need to make, then own that. And if it's not the thing working for you, then figure out the alternative. I'm not saying leave the long job, leave the long hours. I'm saying ask yourself, should you? I can't tell you if you should or not. It's your life. I don't even know you. So I can give you advice, sure. I can help you find a better way of being, even, maybe. But what I can't do is tell you the ins and outs and specifics of your life. That's for you to find out. And the very first step to do that is to take accountability for all of it. Go all the way back, even to when you were a little kid, and just be like, what did I do here that wasn't right? What did I do there that wasn't right? How could I have done this better? And also cut yourself slack while you're at it. Be like, I was just a dumb kid. I didn't know any better this time. I learned my lesson here. If you actually learn from something, a mistake you made, take some pride in learning from it. It kind of balances out the shame of the mistake. And then I'll tell you what, if you take pride in actually learning from that mistake, you're a lot less liable to remake that mistake, because you're like, oh, no, I'll die on this hill. I will stick to my guns with this. And that's great. Like, actually, stubbornness can be a dual-edged sword. It can help keep people away from accountability for a really long time. But once you manage to take accountability anyways, now you can use your stubbornness to help you persevere in hard times, unless it pull you around where it wants to go. So, and don't listen to anyone who's telling you how to live your life. They're not you. Advice is great. The people you actually respect and admire, ask them things. Please do. I'm sure they have knowledge you can benefit from. But at the end of the day, the only person who can actually fix your life and build the future you want and let you have the joy and satisfaction that you crave is you. It was always you. And yeah, sometimes things just don't work out how we want. That's when we say, okay, it didn't happen this time. Let's just go back to the drawing board and do it again. Let's try it all from scratch. Let's persevere and keep trying. Try a new angle. Keep trying new angles. Get innovative, get resourceful. And you're just not going to be able to do any of this if you can't take accountability for your actions, though. And the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with about that is another task that really helped push me in that direction. Simply put, oh hey, I'm green now. Simply put, it's about to be the end of the year. Everyone's setting goals. Across from each of those goals, I want you to write the question, why didn't I do this before? Answer that question. That answer is more valuable than trying to push yourself towards a goal without any direction. Because that answer will help you actually move in the direction of this goal. Which is what we're all doing. We all want to just live a good life and be the best person we can, right? So if we have that option, even if it's nasty medicine, why wouldn't we take it? If it can actually help, if looking inward and accepting things we're not amazed with about ourselves can help us get to where we want to be, why would we not do that, guys? We should do that. We should be doing that every day. And accept, like if people see you as behind, if they see you as failing, accept that and just be like, I'm powering through. I may even be failing right now, but I won't be later, and I guarantee you that. So, but to get that tenacity, there's some hard self-work you're going to do. I recommend looking up stuff about shadow work and the shadow self. And there are a million channels on YouTube that have more informative and in-depth content to help you work on some of these harder things. And I'll be real, I used a dozen of them to help me put myself back together mentally, and it feels good. It feels good to actually spend each day like you're the protagonist of your story, right? And I'm not saying you shouldn't take a supportive role in the lives of others. You should, actually. You really should. I'm saying that in order to take a supportive role in the lives of others, we need to be our own action hero. So do that for yourself. It's getting a little dark out here, so I'm gonna wrap this one up here. If you tuned in, thanks for watching. I'll be back a couple days after Christmas, before New Year's, with another topic. I'll probably post about that tomorrow. So y'all have a lovely evening and get a good walk in.